Two men remain on the
25.
opening day of action on the PDC Pro Tour events in 2021.
25.
And two men who are looking for back-to-back titles of sorts. Jonny Clayton literally, having won the Masters, and Joe Cullen won
Outside.
the very last event of the Winter Series, which brought the curtain down on the Players' Championship season last year. So it would
25.
be
Joe's won the ball.
a couple of Players' Championship events on the spin for the Rockstar, and it will be a match played in good spirits, a good friendly rivalry between this pair, but a rivalry it is, the pair of them meeting in 3 big TV
134.
encounters last year, including a classic at the World Championship. And the way they've been playing so far today, we could have a classic Pro Tour final on our
43.
hands. I'm Chris Murphy, and Paul Nicholson joins me to talk you through it.
Thanks, Murph. Yes, I'm really looking forward to this because
83.
automatically my mind goes back to that World Championship match where Cullen hit those 2 double tops for the 100 conversion to deny Clayton in the last leg decider. But Clayton has been on a bit of a mission
180.
today, and there's more evidence. That's a great response to that 43 start.
58.
I mean, the worst average of the day from Cullen was in the semi-final, but that was 95. That's a measure of how well he's been playing. But Clayton playing just a little bit better for me.
100.
And I think this is going to be a tight encounter, but the head-to-head record does tell a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, Joe Cullen has had much the better of it, including
43.
that World Championship victory. A match that was extremely dramatic, but seemed to pale into insignificance when the meeting with Michael van Gerwen followed it.
100.
Cullen missing those bullseye attempts to beat him, losing out in a last leg decider. But yeah, Cullen has a 6-1
99.
advantage overall in the head-to-head.
For first blood, he'll look at tops
Game shot.
and finds it.
The only one for Jonny Clayton did come in one of those televised events last year, the UK Open. Comfortable 10-4 success. Went on to reach the semi-finals, you may
140.
remember, before Van Gerwen and Price did battle in the decider.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad tournament.
Superb. And maybe the signs were there then from Clayton of what he was going to achieve for the rest of the year. World Cup victory. Now the Master. Now in the Premier League. And they're all the things that Joe Cullen wants to be doing.
134.
Yeah, I think there may be a mark of, I want what you've got. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you one thing I have noticed, though. Does Joe Cullen look a lot thinner to you?
Yeah, he always has tried to keep in shape, Joe Cullen, but does seem to be looking particularly trim.
140.
He might have started doing what Ross Smith does, getting the old running shoes on.
Well,
I think he has been doing a bit of that, hasn't he?
You've got two players here in these days. I'll come back to the point after Clayton attempts this 87. Probably won't go the ball route. That's why he went over there.
Game shot.
And he does clean it up to double his lead. But yeah, you've got two players here who should be pretty well equipped in terms of stamina, because Joe Cullen, as we say, is
97.
a keen runner, keeps himself fit. Jonny Clayton still works long days as a plasterer.
Yeah, this is just a bonus. Heck of a bonus as well.
100.
He's agonising over that decision, by the way, isn't he? Since he was put in the Premier League, he still agonises over whether or not he should give up that job with the council in
119.
Pontyberem.
Don't change your winning formula. You know, that's what they say. But even Mark Webster didn't give up the plumbing full time. He did like the odd day of work just to take his mind off the pressures of darts. And I think Jonny is just looking at the realistic side of the decision, that whatever he's doing now, it's working. He doesn't want to change it too much. And I admire the fact that he hasn't made a rash decision.
Must have a supportive employer as well. He's going to have to miss a few
180.
more nights this year as he fires in another maximum. He had 21 180s coming into this. He's had 2 already in this final.
57.
Jonny Clayton is playing simply irresistible darts right now. Just under 110 average in the semi-final. Decides not to go for 12 bull on this occasion. He fancies that Joe Cullen's not going to take the 136. We saw one in the very first match on this board earlier today from Ian White.
96.
The B prize for Cullen to set up tops. Is it too late? Double 8 for Clayton. 2 4s. Oh, and he's busted. Well, if he's going to miss it, doesn't matter where, because Cullen is back
Game shot.
and in the game.
Well, I didn't witness his quarter-final victory against James Wade, but that brings to an end a run of at least 10 unanswered legs for Jonny Clayton,
42.
having whitewashed John Worsley in the semis.
Yeah, it's fair to say that Jonny Clayton was in a different stratosphere to John Worsley, who I'm sure will feel a little bit empty after that semi-final, but a great run for him.
I think the
60.
money that he's amassed for reaching the semi-finals will cushion the blow a little bit. I think that amount is a figure that he would have been
96.
happy with at the end of the 5 days.
Lots of similarities between these two players, though. They're both not wearing their usual dart shirts today.
97.
They're wearing practice polos from their respective darts manufacturers, and I think the switch to a different manufacturer for
91.
Cullen has been a big factor in the last 4 months.
Rarely seen somebody switch equipment and take to it like a duck to water so quickly.
And on the flip side, you've got Clayton, who has barely changed anything
92.
about his kit. In the last few seasons, he's found a formula that works, so something else has clicked.
60.
We talked about it during that semi-final. Big thing for Jonny Clayton is the consistency, and he seems to have found it.
60.
He's making a lot of faces today, and next time you see Jonny Clayton at the scoring phase of a visit, just watch his face. It does contort quite a lot. It's quite entertaining. Well, this will be entertaining because he did exactly the same in the semi-final. Could he possibly do it again? Oh, he nearly got a chance at the double 15 once more.
98.
Can be tricky, this combination. Needs this dart out of the way. Trying to loop one over the top of it. Now one in between them.
Game shot.
Expertly executed by Joe Cullen.
It was at this stage in Joe Cullen's winning Players' Championship at the end of last season against Ratajski where he hit the afterburners. He started a really motor.
100.
Is he going to do it again? Because we know that Joe Cullen averaged 105 in that final against the Pole. And Jonny Clayton is one of those players who can defy a 105 average. We saw that against Wade at the Masters.
He just get in little runs.
121.
Joe Cullen, when he gets that swing right, can see him reel off. Little clutches of legs
55.
in double quick time.
He did that in the semi-finals against Aspinall, did Joe Cullen. Reeled off a few in a row
115.
to deny the Asp the opportunity of another Players' Championship title. And Jonny Clayton on 306 is getting it right.
134.
And then gets it wrong. He had to go 25 in bull with the last start. And all of a sudden, Joe's got 6 from 125.
Just see when he checks his score now, Jonny Clayton,
81.
if he realises that. These are the little margins that
60.
really can make a difference, particularly when you're at the business end of an event.
Absolutely right. Double 16 for Cullen. Loves it down here.
28.
Not on this occasion. And Clayton, who did not leave the finish from the 306, has got the opportunity to take it in 9. 60 needed and just misses it.
56.
So for the lead for the very first time in the match,
Game shot.
Joe Cullen is ahead and hits his favourite colour. Furious Manchester United fan hits the red bit. And they're not doing too badly at the minute either.
He's
100.
Yorkshire's #1 darts player, Joe Cullen, but his sporting allegiances do lie in Lancashire.
I like that.
85.
Yorkshire's #1. Because if you think about the Yorkshire dart players from yesteryear, there's a lot of legends there. One of them was playing today in Scott Waits, likes of
140.
Dennis Priestley, Dennis Hickling, If you don't know anything about Dennis Hickling, you're not a darts fan. Simple as that.
125.
Grimace from Cullen there as he was looking to add to his maximum tally for the afternoon. 20 across the previous 6 matches.
140.
Could Joe Cullen as well win on James Wilson's birthday? Another
57.
dart player from Yorkshire. So many happy returns to the Lethal Biscuit, or whatever he's calling himself these days.
Will he go for this?
101.
Well, that's his MO, isn't it? If it's there, go for it. And you somewhat admire that gung-ho attitude of going for it, but sometimes
64.
you just want to lay up and give yourself 3 clean darts at double.
And it's one out of the MVG playbook. Going for the bullseye finishes.
Game shot.
He got there in the end and denied Cullen a chance to take out the biggest finish.
There's a nice
59.
rhythm about this game, isn't there? They're playing a very similar pace, walking in circles, throwing at basically the same rate.
Yeah, they got used to playing each other in
108.
important matches last year, as I mentioned. Everyone forgets because of the World Championship tie, the one at the World Grand Prix, which also went
70%.
to the death.
Do you get the feeling this one's going to the very last leg as well? Because I'm getting a little feeling of that
140.
sort, as both players are averaging in the mid to high 90s. Actually, I correct that. Cullen, the late 80s,
60.
but is clinging on here.
$59.
How often do you see someone having that blockbuster semi-final average and then all things
138.
come crashing down a little bit? You just want to win in the final. It's not about the stats.
Yeah, you see it throughout the course of a tournament as Clayton looks for the ball
97.
on the green, but not in the hole.
Joe not happy with that shot. He had the lead,
43.
and he may relinquish it here as Jonny Clayton looks at 25 once again. 2 8s. Misses on the inside this time.
21.
And on the inside of 4s. Gives Cullen a realistic chance here. He's giving Joe too many chances for me, Murph.
And he's going to take one at some point. Not right now.
42.
Double 2.
That's his least favourite on the board.
Game shot.
That is his favourite. And if you think I'm making things up, that is gospel truth. His least favourite double on the board is double 2, and his favourite is double 1.
Which, of course, is why he opted to split it.
It wouldn't surprise
97.
me. The odd thing is, with his darts lying so flat, he should despise double 1. Because if he gets a
91.
shot above the green bit, it's not a guide, it's a block. He should like double 2, but he's his own animal, is the ferret.
100.
Well, if he does go on and win this final, of course, he will also continue the Welsh wash that has been
96.
PDC darts in 2021.
Welsh wash. I'm totally on board with that saying.
Gerwyn Price, of course, became world champion in the early part of January. Ferret
140.
won the Masters and now has the first Players' Championship title of the year in his sights.
96.
Good darts from Cullen, but Clayton has a nice little 1-dart cushion here and a visit coming,
60.
but only comes up with 3 small 20s. That offers a little bit of a chance for Joe to get back into this 8th leg,
60.
and they both suffer from goalkeeperitis on the 60.
Hasn't found the treble
36 scored.
from whichever angle he wishes to look. Still won't be in, Jonny.
56.
Oh, this would be good. We've seen some big finishes today, but nothing as important as this.
120.
Oh, he fancied it. And he'll be livid that he didn't get it.
Well, it could be crucial. The difference between 4 apiece and 5-3
32.
is enormous, but it could be 4 apiece.
Surely a split. Absolutely right. 32 left. Open double with 2. Should be a guide.
6 scored.
Oh, he's devastated. He really backed himself by going the split option, and now he feels he's going to be 5-3 down.
Double 4.
14.
Well, that's why he hates it.
Shouldn't have been there. Been so good on double 8 today. And again, Joe has the blocker. What does he do? Force it? Or does he go to the right and open the angle?
It just seems to be getting a little frustrated here.
Well, he has to throw this really hard, Murph, because he's throwing from at least 2 inches further.
Game shot.
It's a great shot. Really used the angle well.
Did well to regather himself, to get his composure back as well there, Joe Cullen. Not just the different trajectory that he needed to throw, but he had just been shaking his head mid-visit, just getting
78.
a little bit hot under the collar, and managed to calm himself down and deliver a cool and accurate dart into that double and tie things up at 4 apiece.
99.
Well, when you and I were talking maybe 20 minutes ago about when Jonny Clayton was going
100.
for back-to-back titles, we talked about a TV title, then possibly a Players' Championship title. That made me reflect a little bit to 13 years ago when John Part won the world
59.
title at Alexandra Palace. And a lot of people tend to forget that he won the very first Players' Championship of 2008 on top of that in a back-to-back fashion.
140.
Won 3-1 in that final against Chris Mason.
137.
I wonder a few of the names, or if a few of the names in that event are still
130.
playing now. Of course, John Part had to opt against
Steve
his
Beaton.
school. Of course. Yeah, Party couldn't travel.
81.
It would have
Andy
been too
Hamilton was in the
difficult.
last 16, and there's a few others as well, but Cullen looking at double 8
3.
for the lead, and too many missed darts at double from both players are really starting to cost them.
What about the middle? Treble. Couldn't find it.
65.
And Cullen can get his nose in front here.
Game shot.
Well, it's a bit scrappy. Cullen's average is down at 84, but he will care nothing for that because he's 5-4 ahead, and Clayton's average
140.
has dumped down by 20 points since that semi-final.
You were talking about that in the early part of the match, and we've seen it
100.
with a few players today. Gary Anderson had 2 or 3 enormous averages and then kind of crashed against Rob Cross.
60.
At this stage of the season, the very first event, these guys won't be at their premium match fitness
98.
for a Players' Championship victory because they haven't been part of one for about 3 months.
Would you have preferred this kind of format where you get 4 on the spin
140.
rather than 2 when you were playing?
When I was playing well, absolutely.
Even the other way around, I think often the
57.
best thing that can happen after a defeat is to have the next match as soon as possible.
That's so true. Clayton, is he going to go for it? This time he doesn't.
129.
Well, I think Joe Cullen is waving the white flag in this leg.
45.
Level after 10? Question mark? Double 8.
Game shot.
Question answered. We are level after 10, and it looks like this one's going to the wire again.
Yeah, once again, in a match between Joe Cullen and Jonny Clayton,
60.
there is nothing to choose between them.
I can say from experience
100.
that when you're not playing your best stuff in a final, there's a little bit of ache in your heart. And you say to yourself, why couldn't I play it the way I did in the semi-final? But that's better from Cullen. I remember averaging 100 in the semi-final against Wayne Jones in the Netherlands. Then I played
6.
dreadfully in the final against Simon Whitlock, and I was puzzled But it seems like Cullen is starting to rediscover something.
171.
Oh, 6 perfect darts from 441 to leave 90 after 9. Absolutely blistering.
Can be,
140.
as we've mentioned it, an in and out player, Joe Cullen. And if he's finding that blistering stuff, what a time to find it.
50.
Well, if this was a race, which it is of sorts, this is where you kick. This is where you start finding
100.
a bigger stride. And Cullen knows a thing or two about treading the concrete. Tops.
Game shot.
Finds his way to 6-5. Does he have something for the final couple of furlongs?
Will be interesting. Whoever Dan Dawson
95.
interviews at the end of this match as the winner, to find out what their preparation has been like. Of course, we saw Clayton win the Masters.
100.
Joe Cullen in particular is a player who finds it difficult to practice. He's admitted that himself. He'd prefer to be out running or on the snooker table or watching the football or rugby league,
60.
which he loves, than spending hours and hours on the dartboard by himself, which of course is enforced at the moment as well. Practice partners are out of the question.
Well, it's the curse of being good at more things. Very good with the football, very good with the snooker cue. And you do want to do those other things, but ultimately the thing
59.
that you are best at, you have to put the time in.
And when he has won titles, he's often put it down to, well, I've been practicing for the last couple of
80.
months. That could be a blow. We'll see what Clayton can find here. But yeah, often he's said, oh, I've just worked hard for a couple of months. Now, if he starts working hard all the time, then Joe Cullen
60.
could be one of the big beasts of professional darts.
I was talking to some darts folk earlier in the week, and Cullen was my pick to have a really good start to the year.
83.
So he's making me look good. But the fact of the matter is, whoever gets across the line here, what does it do for their confidence for the rest of this week? Could they possibly pick up multiple
80.
titles? Well, Cullen is 113 away from being 1 away. Tops. Only one of them.
93.
You got 2 of them against Clayton at the Worlds to win the match. Misses that, and Clayton is starting to need snookers on 147.
$139. Game shot.
Cullen sinks the red, leads 7-5, and now will throw to pick up another Players' Championship title and start his season in sensational style.
93.
2020 was a decent year for Cullen. He won a European Tour event and a Players' Championship event.
95.
He's on the cusp of another Players' Championship win.
I wonder where he sees himself in professional darts. His
96.
last couple of defeats, in fact, have been against the world number 1 and the world number 2. In fact, I should correct that. The last 2 defeats have been against the world number 1, because at the time, Michael van Gerwen was the world number 1.
Yeah,
he lost
very
to
true.
Gerwin Price at the Masters.
100.
Clayton is being backed into a corner. And from 306, he's got to get this right.
98.
It's not bad. But he needs mistakes from Cullen.
41.
He makes the error that Clayton wanted.
Needs a treble, you feel.
100.
Manages to put the filling in the sandwich.
Yeah, well put, Murph. That was the jam in the middle, that shot.
97.
But that's a beautiful switch from Cullen. Sets up a lovely looking 74 if Clayton misses this. He hasn't been hitting his doubles in this match, really.
Game
But he's found a beautiful 108 at the right time to deny Cullen a match shot.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful shot from Jonny Clayton. Steel, determination,
59.
and accuracy.
It's so organic, that action from Clayton, isn't it? It's not something you would teach, but you get the feeling that when he first touched a dart, that's the way he would have thrown it. Not, of course, the only great dart player from his part of the world. Great lady player called Julie Gore, former world master, is from the same neck of the woods as Clayton gets a maximum. And is he starting to kick from here for home?
Well, I was going to say another meeting between the pair of them go right down to the wire, just as you suggested early in the piece. It looked like Cullen was cruising towards the checkered flag.
140.
But Jonny Clayton has stopped him in his tracks.
How many times does Cullen go to the wire in interesting games?
It's value for money, isn't he?
Oh, so he's box office. 418's bull. There's 3. That's another 3.
108.
Was it a wise route?
No, I don't think it was. He's put himself into a really strange corner of the board.
95.
And you can't miss this.
Game shot.
Oh, and he hasn't. It's 7-7, and we did say it, didn't we? This one's going to go all the way. Clayton's got a smile right now. Will he be smiling in about 2 minutes' time?
What a start to the season. The Players' Championship
140.
circuit. Of course, at this stage, still unsure exactly how many events there will be. A huge effort to get so many on last
60.
year. But Joe Cullen won the very last one of the season. And we had some really dramatic finals in those series events. And it looks like the
131.
Super Series is going to start in the same vein.
What a splendid start to the last leg from Cullen. A dreamy 140, followed by the 131. It's all in his hands right now with this 1 dart lead, and he's back in the 60 again. Great courage from Cullen, who has been pushed and pushed and pushed by Clayton the last couple of legs.
60.
Certainly holding it together here. 140, 131, 140. The bullseye leaves tops.
70.
First match darts missed. He has the luxury of more. But it's what he does now in waiting that is key. He has to exercise his thoughts and execute right here.
Well, no pressure applied.
No score.
Has the luxury of just not having to go out there. There was a chance for Cullen to change his plan in the middle of that visit. Because Clayton
140.
wasn't on a finish. Now he is under pressure.
2 10s for the title. 5 match darts have gone, but number 6 is not. And he hits the red again, and Cullen has gone back-to-back in Players' Championships. Again, he denies his good friend Jonny Clayton, but Cullen starts the season perfectly. Will he go further in 2021? Well, 3 more events this week here in Bolton, and he has more chances to add to the tally of titles that he's already got. Cullen starts perfectly here in Bolton. It's been an absolute roller coaster all day. Jonny Clayton does not go back-to-back with the Masters, then the Players' Championship, but Cullen goes back-to-back. He's your winner today, and Dan's with him now.
A winner again. Get into that one there. You always know where the cameras are, Joe, so he just instinctively picks it up. What a final leg that was, Joe, because you were cruising there and you get a little bit nervy at the end.
Yeah, it was a shocking final, to be honest. I was trying to keep 3 darts ahead of Jonny, because I knew that Johnny's that sort of character that he's got a no care attitude, even though he cares. I don't think Jonny cares at all that he lost that final. You know what I mean? He's one of them players, and obviously he's a good friend of mine. And that goes to show, you know, what winning the ball means. You know, you take it for granted, and a lot of players do as well. But it's definitely one on my side there.
Well, look, it's your 6th PDC title. It's back-to-back Pro Tour titles because you won the last one.
Back to back.
How does it feel to start this year on the Pro Tour in the way you finished it last year?
Yeah, I was talking to Devon yesterday. The thing is, this year, even previously when I've not felt comfortable, I've got beat comfortably as you would expect. But this year, even when I'm not feeling comfortable, I feel like I'm going to win, which is I've not had the feeling yet. You know, in the last few tournaments. But this year, I just feel like even when I play bad, I feel like I can win. Obviously, I won't always win, but I feel like I can win. It's a brilliant feeling to have. It really is.
I know that we've talked many times before, and you've talked about, look, I've got to put the hard work in if I'm going to get results.
I've been putting it in.
Well, that's the question, because it was a huge disappointment for you losing to MVG at Ali Pali in that incredible game of darts. But did that spur you on? Because a lot of people would be like, I'm not touching those darts for another 4 weeks now.
No, well, them particular darts, I've not touched them. I've not touched them since, but no, I gave myself sort of a week and a half, 2 weeks off, and then got back on it. You know, the money in this is crazy. You know what I mean? The lifestyle isn't great, but that comes with the money. It's you know what I mean? It's both ways. I couldn't have the lifestyle that I had if it wasn't for darts. So I'm thankful for darts. You know, and I'm thankful that I've got the talent that I have, and I mean, winning the first tournament, it definitely sets the good year off.
The final was probably your worst performance of the day, because everything leading up to that was very, very good and very consistent.
Really
I mean,
steady,
I mean that's got to be really rewarding if you have been putting in the hard work over recent weeks.
Yeah, but I think down to the final as well. I think I'd say the same for Jonny as well. If I was playing somebody else who I wasn't, you know, a good friend of, I think it might have been different. But you know, me and Jonny, we were sort of, when he played well, I played well, and when he played rubbish, I played rubbish. It was just one of those. It was, you know, we were good friends. I think if it had been anyone else who I'm not such a good friend of, I think he would have either ironed me out or I'd have ironed him out.
What's it like playing Jonny? Because I know you are good pals and you've roomed together and various trips around on the PDC tour, but that is now 8 times you've played him. He's only won 1. You've had some high-profile meetings, World Championship, World Grand Prix. There's only the UK Open. Yeah, that's the only one.
I remember, he played brilliant that day. But the thing is, Jonny's he's one of them players. It's like maybe John Henderson, people like that. No one's got a bad word to say about them. You know, they're really, really nice people. You know, away from the dart world, they're just genuinely nice people. And Jonny's one of them. But you know, he's got his shot now at the Premier League. You know, I thought I might maybe have been in the mix for it, but Jonny's won the Masters. You know, he deserves it more than anyone. And you know, if I was going to miss out, you know, Jonny's one of the best people to miss out too.
Well, look, I mean, the way to get in the Premier League is to force their hand, isn't it? This is the first title of the year for you. You've got the ability, we've seen it, to go and do some serious damage. What do you think you need to do? I know the Premier League has been a target for you for a number of years. What do you think you need to do this year to get into it?
Maybe win a major, then they can't overlook me. But this year is the first year that I've not obsessed over the Premier League. You know, the previous 2 years I've thought, oh, if I do this, if I do that, you know, I might get a chance. But this year, I genuinely wasn't bothered. If I'd have got picked for it, unbelievable, great. But if not, you know, I get to spend, you know, time with my family at home. And the way the Premier League is this year as well, obviously with the I think it's a 5-day block, then a 4-day block. No, I don't want that for my first Premier League campaign, so we'll wait till next year.
Wait till next year when all the fans are in. The rock star Joe Cullen picking up his 6th PDC title and he's back-to-back on the Pro Tour. I mean, a few months apart, but it doesn't matter because he's back-to-back. He denies Jonny Clayton in the final. He'll be back tomorrow, as will everybody else, for Day 2, Players' Championship 2, here at the Super Series. But it's a winning start for the rock star, just as it was a winning finish from the rock star at the back end of 2020.
Get in.